Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next hour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold high-level talks with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. India-EU free trade agreement, security cooperation and Russia-Ukraine conflict on the agenda. Zelenskyy to meet Trump in Washington on Friday. Focus on minerals deal and security guarantee. Trump says Russia-Ukraine ceasefire will be agreed soon or won't be at all. On tariffs, Trump clarifies tariff of 25% on Canada. Mexico is set to kick in March 4th, threatens an extra 10% duty on Chinese imports over fentanyl. Bangladesh's student protesters to announce new political party today. Key student leader Nahid Islam likely to become convener of the new political party. And in sports, Afghanistan eye historic semi-final berth as they take on Australia in its final league game of the ICC Champions Trophy 2025. Elevating the India-EU multifaceted partnership to new heights, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is in New Delhi for the first visit of EU College of Commissioners to India. The European Commission President will meet Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and hold delegation-level talks, likely covering the proposed India-EU free trade agreement, security cooperation and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Discussions will also focus on expanding the India-EU strategic partnership to new areas like defense technology and energy cooperation. Ursula von der Leyen will also attend the second ministerial meeting of the India-EU Trade and Technology Council. Besides, bilateral ministerial meetings will also be held during the visit. The EU Commission President earlier termed India a friend and a strategic ally for Europe in this era of conflict. Meanwhile, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Thursday called on the visiting European Commission President and lauded her views on re-energizing India's engagement with Europe. Dr. Jaishankar further stated that the wide-ranging participation of Indian ministers and EU College of Commissioners during the visit stands testimony to the importance India gives to deeper India-EU ties. And this is the first ever visit of the EU College of Commissioners together to India and is indicative of the strong momentum in EU-India relations under the current ruling dispensation of PM Modi. The delegation's visit is designed to deepen and diversify cooperation across multiple sectors. The next report examines what makes this visit of EU chief landmark and unprecedented in many ways.
Landmark visit by the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, accompanied by the European Union College of Commissioners on an official visit to India on 27th and 28th February 2025. This is first ever visit of the EU College of Commissioners together to India and among the first such visits since the start of mandate of the current European Commission in December 2024 after the European parliamentary elections were held in June 2024. India and European Union are strategic partners since 2004, and as the two sides enter the third decade of the strategic partnership, von der Leyen and EU commissioners' visit will further consolidate ties based on growing convergences. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President von der Leyen is expected to engage in comprehensive talks covering the proposed free trade agreement, defense and security cooperation and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The Second Trade and Technology Council, or the TTC, is expected to convene during the visit, which aims to boost collaboration on the digital transition, clean and green technologies, trade and investment. On the anvil are collaboration on digital public infrastructure and resilience of key value chains, cooperation on global trade, strengthening AI collaboration at both bilateral and EU levels. This is President Ursula von der Leyen's third visit to India. She has earlier visited India for a bilateral official visit in April 2022 and to attend the G20 Leaders Summit in September 2023. Prime Minister Modi and President Ursula von der Leyen have also met regularly on the sidelines of several multilateral meetings. The visit follows President von der Leyen's announcement of a new strategic agenda with India to be presented this year at the EU-India Summit. Therefore, the visit puts thrust on big-ticket areas vital to security and growth of both Europe and India. The visit holds symbolic and strategic significance by setting the stage for more robust India-European Union rubric, both at the governmental and institutional levels. Sakal Bhatt's report for DD India.
And DD India's Jessica Taneja has been tracking all the developments and she's joining us live from Delhi. Good morning, Jessica. Tell us what is the agenda today and any major announcement expected during the visit.
Good morning, Abhishek, and to all our viewers out there watching today. The EU Commissioner, along with her 22 other commissioners of the college, are here in New Delhi on an important visit. In fact, we've seen that Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission chief, and the Prime Minister have met at least 7 times in the past, with, of course, the report outlining how the relationship has developed over the years, starting from 2004 with the strategic partnership to now holding more than 15 India-EU summits. Of course, we've had a long-standing partnership with the European Union. Even in terms of trade, we've seen an uptick in the last decade. In terms, when you talk about trade in goods, it's gone up 90%. And last year it was recorded, just trade in goods, bilateral trade was recorded at $139 billion, out of which Indian exports was $79 billion, roughly. So we've had a good momentum when it comes to trade with the European Union. Perhaps that push then for the free trade agreement, 10 rounds of talks have been held, but these talks have been going on for decades now. And the issues pertaining to the FTA are slowly and gradually, one may put it, being ironed out, especially keeping India's concerns in mind, where the European Union is pushing for a carbon tax or a CBAM, as they say, very critical in the negotiations, along with other tariff and non-tariff barriers, along with procurement areas, all of those issues being discussed. But also her visit, along with the commissioners, represents that the India-EU relationship definitely has a momentum and will continue to build on it, especially when we talk about trade and the need to further have another roadmap, apart from, of course, when they had outlined one till 2025. So they would look at a new roadmap and mechanism to work on when it comes to the overall relationship. And as far as the Trade and Technology Council meet is concerned, and the bilateral meetings that will also take place today, alongside after, of course, Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission chief, meets with the Prime Minister. She met with Dr. S. Jaishankar yesterday, and today, along with her counterparts, she will also be meeting various ministers.
Also, Jessica, you know how US has now been dealing with Russia-Ukraine conflict after Donald Trump became president, and the relationship between EU and the US has come under strain. In that context, how important is a meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
Well, geopolitics somehow seems to have been shaken a bit, and things are, the policy shifts are quite different. So it is essential for the European Union also, which is witnessing so-called tariff unease, war of words with the United States, with retaliatory tariffs as well announced just recently. So, with yesterday, the meeting of Keir Starmer with President Donald Trump also indicated where we heard Donald Trump say that the European Union has not been fair when it comes to its tariffs. Of course, there's a little unease there with the change of guard at the White House for the European Union. But India and EU ties have sort of sustained such or survived such geopolitical pressures, in a sense, when it comes to trade, and focus on where the relationship has continued to strengthen and build on that momentum, perhaps.
All right, Jessica, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for your inputs. Moving on, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is in Washington to strike a minerals deal with the United States and discuss future aid with President Trump. Ahead of the Zelensky's visit, Trump, however, said the Ukrainian president would sign the agreement on rare earths and other topics during his visit, but suggested Washington would not make far-reaching security guarantees.
So we're looking to do a deal with Ukraine where they're going to secure what we're giving them with their rare earth and other things.
This deal could be a great success, or it could pass quietly. And the big success depends on our conversation with President Trump. And ahead of the meeting, the US president said that he thinks a ceasefire agreement with Russia will be agreed soon or won't be at all. Trump had earlier said Russian President Vladimir Putin would also have to make concessions in a deal to end fighting with Ukraine. Zelenskyy had earlier said the revenues from the resources deal would be deposited in a fund co-owned by Ukraine and the United States, and that Kiev would not be a debtor over aid provided under the Biden administration. Earlier on Thursday, Trump met UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer for the first time since the US leader took office. The meeting was focused on Ukraine and Britain's bilateral ties. The two leaders discussed tough and fair Ukraine peace deal with Trump. Starmer emphasized that Britain was ready to provide military support to back it.
We've discussed a plan today to reach a peace that is tough and fair, that Ukraine will help shape, that's backed by strength, to stop Putin coming back for more. And I'm clear that the UK is ready to put boots on the ground and planes in the air to support a deal, working together with our allies, because that is the only way that peace will last.
Further, Trump said that a minerals deal with Ukraine is the security guarantee Kyiv needs against Russia, brushing aside a plea from Starmer for a commitment of US military support. Starmer is the latest European leader to meet Trump after French President Emmanuel Macron, who visited the White House on Monday and talked about Ukraine. All right, my colleague Shubhendu Ghosh is joining me live to talk more on this. Good morning, Shubhendu. Volodymyr Zelenskyy has reached Washington to meet US President Donald Trump here to strike the minerals deal. Tell us about the deal, Shubhendu. Any info on the terms of the deal?
Good morning, Abhishek. Well, the Russia-Ukraine conflict is taking a very interesting turn after over 3 years of brutal fighting. Yes, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is headed to United States for the minerals deal. It is the first time that such talks and negotiations are taking place amidst brutal fighting. We have to understand that this first round of talks is going to be focusing on a certain economic deal aimed at creating a certain investment fund. Sources inform it is going to be something like a Ukraine reconstruction fund where America, United States, is going to be a principal partner. Remember, President Zelenskyy had earlier rejected President Trump's demand for about $500 billion of payment for the US support in the form of rare earth minerals. And Ukraine, the data informs about 5% of the world's rare earth minerals are located in Ukraine, also in parts which may be under Russian occupation as we speak. So for now, this fund, this negotiation is located at the manner in which America and Ukraine can engage in economic terms. Ukraine understands that its rare earth minerals perhaps is the most important hedge that it can use, not just to strike an economic deal, but also a first step perhaps towards a future of a certain security guarantee, security support from United States. President Zelenskyy, in fact, had used the word a framework, that this is going to be the first framework for the closer engagement between Ukraine and the United States. So in that sense, it's a very, very important economic deal. President Trump has said that this has to be seen not as a security guarantee. However, if America and Ukraine were to engage in economic terms, if America were to participate in the extraction and the use of rare earth minerals from Ukraine, it would automatically mean that there would be a certain security infrastructure at place. But President Trump directly did not comment on if it also means a security guarantee for Ukraine as of now.
Okay, Shubhendu, and also any reaction from Russia? How has Russia reacted to it with Ukraine likely to sign the minerals deal with the US?
Abhishek, given that the details of this deal are also not out as yet, and we've also seen the kind of 180-degree turn that United States has taken as far as its approach to the principal adversaries to the conflict are concerned, Russia and Ukraine. President Trump's team, President Trump had directly spoken to President Putin earlier over phone, and then this very, very high-profile, high-delegation meeting that took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So that meeting took place before Trump administration's engagement with Ukraine. So Russia, in a way, has already been taken on board. President Trump has made it clear this meeting is not about security guarantee. This meeting is about ensuring a certain degree of level playing field in economic terms for United States and America. And the earlier indicators that President Trump and his administration had given also in many ways take care of the principal Russian concerns. One, that Ukraine in most likelihood will not get a NATO membership in the coming future. And that is, in fact, one of the reasons why President Zelenskyy may be pushing for a security guarantee, because if there was a certain NATO membership promised in the future, that security guarantee would come automatically. And second is also about President Trump's administration had not spoken about how this peace will come into place. There may also be a certain area of land which Russia occupies at the moment, which may continue to be with Russia as part of that security deal. So anyway, we see that the conflict, the negotiations, the high power exchanges involving United States already appear to very clearly favor Russia in this conflict and the potential ceasefire. So in that sense, President Putin would be interested in knowing the finer details of this minerals deal with Ukraine, but its own ties and relationship with US appear to be moving in the right directions without Ukraine.
All right, Shubhendu, thank you for the time being, but keep tracking this. We'll keep taking updates from you. Moving on, the US and the UK leaders also discussed bilateral ties, on which Trump highlighted that both countries are working for a bilateral trade agreement, while Starmer emphasized that deal will strengthen trading relationship between the two countries.
Will once again demonstrate the power of our country's unique friendship. This is indeed a unique friendship. It's been many years, and I think it's only gotten stronger, and we will make sure that it stays that way. We're going to have a great trade agreement. One way or the other, we're going to end up with a very good trade agreement for both countries, and we're working on that as we speak.
All right, still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Israel sends negotiators to Cairo to extend phase 1 of Gaza ceasefire. USAID workers say goodbye to the headquarters in Washington, D.C. Hundreds of original movie posters from Hollywood classics such as King Kong and War of the Worlds are set to be auctioned in London.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. US President Donald Trump has vowed to enforce sweeping new tariffs on Mexico, Canada and China, citing the ongoing fentanyl crisis. Speaking from the Oval Office on Thursday, Trump confirmed that a 25% tariff on Mexican and Canadian goods will take effect on March 4, alongside an additional 10% duty on Chinese imports. This latest move comes as Trump accuses all three nations of failing to curb the flow of deadly drugs into the US. Notably, the fresh China tariffs will stack atop a previous 10% duty imposed on February 4, raising the total to 20%. When asked whether Mexico and Canada had made sufficient progress in curbing fentanyl shipments, Trump stated that he did not see any improvement and emphasized that the drug problem persisted. While on Friday, US President Donald Trump said that his government had good talks on Gaza and that he thought it was coming up with solutions to problems in the Middle East. Trump was asked whether Phase 2 would come to fruition at a White House press conference.
It's a rough situation, but I think we're going to make it much better. And I think that we've had a huge impact on that since we've been in just the 4 weeks. I think we've had a huge impact on Gaza, the Middle East, and we have some pretty good talks going on concerning lots of other people that are going to make it better. So we'll see what happens. Nobody really knows, but we'll see what happens. But I think we've had a very positive impact.
An Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich will meet U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Washington next Wednesday. Smotrich went to Washington in March 2023 to meet with leaders of Israel's U.S.-based government bonds program, but did not meet any officials from Biden's administration. The pro-settler Smotrich had clashed with Biden officials, including then Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, over aid and banking arrangements for the Palestinian territories. And Israel announced on Thursday it was sending negotiators to Cairo for talks seeking to extend a first phase of a ceasefire due to expire in 2 days. It aims to secure the release of more hostages while delaying any final deal on Gaza's future. The announcement came after Hamas handed over 4 bodies of hostages, the last due to be released under the terms of the 6-week first phase of the ceasefire that started on January 19. Talks have yet to begin on a second phase that would ultimately lead to a permanent end to the conflict. The warring sides have not spelled out what would happen beyond Saturday if the first phase of the ceasefire expires with no agreement. Egypt and Qatar are mediating between Israel and Hamas with the backing of the United States. The initial phase of the ceasefire included the handover of 33 Israeli hostages in return for some 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees held in Israeli jails. Fighting was paused and Israeli troops withdrew from some positions in Gaza. Talks over the second phase had been meant to start earlier this month, intended to secure the release of the remaining hostages and the full withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. Now, Israel's military on Thursday acknowledged its complete failure to prevent Hamas' October 7, 2023 attack, the deadliest in the nation's history. It was revealed in an internal probe published weeks into a fragile truce. A senior military official said the military acknowledges it was overconfident and had misconceptions about Hamas's military capabilities before the attack. Following the probe's release, Israel's military chief, General Herzi Halevi, took the responsibility. He had already resigned last month, citing the October 7 failure. A California federal judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration from enforcing mass firings of federal employees, halting an effort to reduce the U.S. workforce. U.S. District Judge William Alsup in San Francisco ruled that the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, OPM, lacked the authority to order the firings of probationary employees who was typically have less than a year of service. The move follows a January 20 memo and a February 14 email instructing federal agencies to identify and terminate non-mission critical probationary workers. Judge expressed concern that the mass layoffs would have a detrimental effect on government functions and described probationary workers as essential to the renewal of the federal workforce. The Trump administration, spearheaded by President Trump and Elon Musk Department of Government Efficiency, aims to streamline the federal government. However, Alsup emphasized that agencies cannot unilaterally implement mass cuts. The judge's decision remains temporary while further legal proceedings unfold, leaving federal agencies in limbo. A U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, workers said goodbye to their headquarters in Washington, D.C. After being terminated due to drastic cuts in foreign aid by the Trump administration, the workers were allowed to briefly return to collect their personal belongings and clear out their desks. The cuts, which total over 90% of USAID's aid contracts, were part of Trump's America First policy. A 90-day pause on all foreign aid was ordered in January to review projects funded by US taxpayer money. This move threw USAID into turmoil, halting operations worldwide and pausing life-saving aid and humanitarian relief efforts. Despite the widespread cuts, some critical programs will continue, including food assistance, HIV, medical treatments, and other critical support. However, several major HIV/AIDS programs in South Africa and a global non-profit working on malaria and maternal health had their contracts cancelled. Now, Bangladeshi students who were at the forefront of last year's protests that ousted then Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina are set to launch a political party on Friday. The Anti-Discrimination Student Movement and the Jatiya Nagrik Committee announced that they would launch their political party at Manik Mia Avenue in the capital Dhaka on February 28. Earlier on Tuesday, student leader Nahid Islam had resigned from the advisory council of the interim government as the information and broadcasting advisor amid discussions that he would join a new political party. He said that given the current situation in the country, the rise of a new political force is necessary. Nahid is likely to become the convener of the new political party. All right, we'll go across to Dhaka. DD India's Naval Singh Parmar is joining us on the phone line. From there, Naval Singh, Bangladesh is in the throes of fresh political churning once again. Nahid Islam will announce a new party today. Fill us in with more details.
Yes, today there is a plan that they will announce a new political party at Manik Mia Avenue in Dhaka, and it is expected that, as per their claim, that around 3 lakh people will be there, and they have invited leaders from the other political party like Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and in fact they invited Professor Yunus too. So let's see what will happen there, and people are watching that how much they are having goodwill now after 6 months of the uprising in the student lead protest of against the Sheikh Hasina government. But at that time they were having a good or considerable goodwill amongst the people, common people. But nowadays, within 6 months, the certain action of the student against the discrimination and the student leader, people have created, it has created suspicions among the people about their policy and their views and their agenda for the Bangladesh. So many people are thinking that this so may not be as expected by the student leader.
All right, Naval Singh, keep tracking this. Thank you for the time being. We'll keep taking updates from you. Moving on, hundreds of original movie posters from Hollywood classics such as King Kong and War of the Worlds are set to be auctioned in London on March as one of the world's largest private collections goes on sale. The incredible collection is one of the world's largest private assemblies of movie posters, offering a unique glimpse into the rich history of cinema.
I've been the biggest advocate for movie posters because this weekend is this one has an interesting story. Who? Back and forth, and it's very, very low. In these foreign countries, they're well.
All right, still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. India celebrates National Science Day today, commemorating discovery of Raman effect. Up next, all you need to know about India's gaming revolution that goes global. And India's Paraplegic Rehabilitation Centre in Pune stands as a beacon of hope, transforming the lives of India's bravest warriors. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Recap of what we have done so far. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold high-level talks with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in their EU free trade agreement, security cooperation and Russia-Ukraine conflict on the agenda. Zelenskyy to meet Trump in Washington on Friday, focus on minerals deal and security guarantee. Trump says Russia-Ukraine ceasefire will be agreed soon or won't be at all. On tariffs, Trump clarifies tariff of 25% on Canada. Mexico set to kick in March 4th, threatens an extra 10% duty on Chinese imports over fentanyl. And in sports, Afghanistan eye historic semi-final berth as they take on Australia in its final league game of the ICC Champions Trophy. All right, news just coming in. India's Home Minister Amit Shah will chair a key meeting to review law and order situation in Delhi today. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta and senior police officials include the Police Commissioner and all Special Commissioners at the Ministry of Home Affairs likely to be in attendance. According to sources, the meeting aims to strengthen coordination between the Delhi government and Delhi police. Discussions are also likely to focus on enhancing the law and order situation in the capital and ensuring better collaboration between the two authorities. And National Science Day is being celebrated today to commemorate the discovery of the Raman effect made by the eminent physicist Sir C.V. Raman. The theme for this year is Empowering Indian Youth for Global Leadership in Science and Innovation for Viksit Bharat or Developed India. It emphasizes the role of young minds in driving India's scientific and technological progress, aligning with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, which aims for a developed and self-reliant India. National Science Day celebrates India's scientific progress and commitment to innovation, with advancements in quantum computing, AI, geospatial technology and climate research. Alongside initiatives fostering inclusivity and young talent, India is shaping a future driven by science and technology. As the nation moves towards Viksit Bharat 2047, continued investment in research and innovation will be key to global leadership and sustainable growth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended greetings on the National Science Day. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him here, "Our government is continuously working to encourage research and innovation among the youth. This is important to realize our dream of a Viksit Bharat," unquote. Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences Dr. Jitendra Singh will take part in the celebration of National Science Day at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. While Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will attend the National Science Day celebrations in Telangana's capital city of Hyderabad. Let's now take a look at the journey of C.V. Raman, the first Asian to receive a Nobel Prize for Physics, which continues to inspire generations of science enthusiasts. India's largest and most influential AVGCXR conference, Bengaluru GFX 2025, is taking place in Bengaluru. Running from February 27 to March 1st, the conference brings together key industry leaders. Information and Broadcasting Secretary Sanjay Jaju, speaking at the event, hailed WAVES as the first event to unite the global media and entertainment industry under one roof.
The advisory board members have decided that the Waves is now going to be held from 1st May till 4th May in Mumbai at the Geo Center. It will be one of its kind event because this is the first time all the verticals of media entertainment are going to get together. Now we have events like this. I mean, this is one vertical. But there are so many verticals in the media entertainment pie. You have the traditional news, you have the traditional television, you have the traditional radio, you have the graphics segment, you have the film segment, as we all know about it. You also now have the new media, you have the social media. This is arguably the world's first convergence event where all these verticals are being put together.
Waves Bazaar is a e-marketplace wherein the buyers and sellers can meet, and there is a wonderful opportunity for networking and present your products, and also it is an opportunity for buyers to identify the right products. It's a wonderful opportunity for both buyers and sellers alike. That is the Waves Bazaar. The URL of the same is also displayed in your screen. You can log into it and the registration is free. Please make the maximum use of it.
All the media and entertainment industry people across the globe are going to come there, and you will see some of the biggest names like Steven Spielberg and James Cameron and many of the technicians coming to that particular platform. This is organized by the industry, for the industry, and people like Rajinikanth, Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan ji, and as well as all the film fraternities are backing this up, and they are really putting in all the efforts to make this as a very big event.
Animation company, we are developing IPs for animation content, for animation, gaming, and comics as well. So we are developing a bunch of IPs right now, and one of our IPs is Academy of Gods. So we are reaching out for the broadcasters for the animation, and we did apply for Waves 2020 for the competition of IP India.
And India's gaming revolution goes global with 20 winning game developers selected to participate at Game Developers Conference or GDC 2025 from March 17 to 21st in San Francisco. The 20 developers were declared at the end of the grand finale of third edition of Bharat Tech Triumph program. They will showcase their groundbreaking games and indigenous gaming IPs to a global audience of investors, publishers and industry pioneers. Over 3 editions, BTTP has witnessed participation from over 1,500 of India's best game developers and students, making it the definitive platform for fostering innovation and entrepreneurship for Made in India for the world technology and IP. The teams will then next month participate in the Startup Mahakumbh from April 3rd to 5th in India and the World Audiovisual Entertainment Summit or Waves from May 1st to 4th in India. The Indian gaming opportunity currently stands at $4 billion and is poised to breach the market size of $60 billion by 2034. Let's take a look at other stories making news. In the Poonch district of the Indian Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, a car fell into the Poonch River near Kalai village on Thursday around 7:30 p.m. The police, SDRF and district administration teams managed to pull the vehicle out and rushed 7 injured passengers to the hospital, with 3 referred to Rajouri. The search continues for other potential passengers. The road has been temporarily closed as rescue efforts remain ongoing. The Udan Yatri Cafe has opened at Chennai Airport, offering tea, coffee and snacks at budget-friendly prices. Inaugurated by Union Minister Ram Mohan Naidu, the cafe is part of the centre's Udan scheme and is operated by specially able staff. Following the success of its Kolkata counterpart, the cafe aims to ensure no passenger goes hungry and promotes inclusivity through communication boards for ordering. Thousands of devotees throng Sri Siddharud Swami Mutt temple in the Dharwad district of the Indian state of Karnataka on Thursday. Devotees from various corners of the country took part in the annual chariot ceremony The event saw a vast sea of attendees showcasing their devotion and reverence. The Srinagar-Leh National Highway has been closed due to heavy snowfall in the higher reaches. Dras in Ladakh received 2 feet of snow in the last 24 hours, leading to the closure of many inter-district roads, including Srinagar-Leh Highway. Other high-altitude areas affected by snowfall include Zojila Pass, Sinthan Top and Amarnath Cave. In the city of Pune, in the Indian state of Maharashtra, the Paraplegic Rehabilitation Center or PRC stands as a beacon of hope for soldiers with life-altering injuries. Established in 1974 after the 1971 Bangladesh War, the PRC provides specialized medical care, emotional healing, education, skill training and adaptive sports. From computer diplomas to wheelchair basketball championships, the PRC helps soldiers rebuild their lives with dignity and purpose. This center is known as a home of courage and unbreakable spirit, showcasing the stories of India's bravest warriors. Still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Consensus elusive at G20 finance ministers meet in South Africa. Sports fraternity mourns the death of Russia's chess master Boris Spassky. And we'll get your report on how Brazil is celebrating Bloco Bollywood.
In a world increasingly shaped by climate challenges, we are all exposed to new risks. But efforts are being made to tackle these challenges.
Once you have per square kilometer accurate data, they will start mobilizing actions, and the top-down folks, will have an ability to focus on specific parts where the problem is.
By using locally grown food, we can not only reduce our impact on the climate, but also prevent lifestyle diseases.
I think this is extremely important to have this kind of community level engagement. And some of these awareness programs I am aware of are also providing some individual level strategy to really adapt to the situations.
We have community radio stations. We also have door-to-door information drives.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Business updates now. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq ended sharply lower on Thursday, weighed down by a slump in chipmaker Nvidia after its quarterly report failed to rekindle Wall Street's AI rally. Nvidia dropped after the Silicon Valley company gave a weaker than expected quarterly forecast for gross margin that overshadowed an upbeat revenue outlook. The launch of low-cost artificial intelligence models from China's DeepSeek in January has cooled Wall Street's AI rally, while an analyst report this week suggesting Microsoft was scrapping some data center leases all raised concerns of AI overcapacity. The S&P 500 lost 1.59%, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 2.78%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.45%. Now, a group of 20 finance ministers and central bank governors closed their meeting in Cape Town on Thursday without reaching consensus on a communique, instead agreeing to a chair summary. In the two-day meeting, South Africa had hoped to make the G20 a platform for putting pressure on rich countries to do more to tackle climate change and to give more towards poorer countries' transitions to green energy and reform a financial system that favors investment banks at the expense of poor sovereign debtors. But the talks were overshadowed by the absence of several key finance chiefs and foreign aid cuts by major economies against a backdrop of rising geopolitical tensions. G20 countries account for 85% of the global gross domestic product and 75% of international trade. South Africa's Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana said he was not happy the G20 meeting could not issue a joint communique.
The matter which gave occasion to the lack of consensus was the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I didn't mention the countries. I said, what is the matter giving occasion to that? I can say now there are specific matters which will be of general challenge. I mentioned, for instance, one of them is climate finance. As of particular importance. I'm not going to say which country stands what on which point. Climate finance is one of the issues.
All right, time now for sports updates. We'll start with cricket. Afghanistan will look to continue their flawless run in the Champions Trophy as they gear up for a crucial clash against Australia in Lahore on Friday, knowing that a win would secure them a historic semi-final berth. Fresh from eliminating England with a thrilling 8-run victory, Afghanistan's confidence is soaring as they prepare to face the reigning world champions. Though Afghanistan has never beaten Australia in ODI cricket, they would be confident as they got the better of Aussies in a crucial T20 World Cup encounter last year. Australia, meanwhile, remained well placed for a semi-final spot after defeating England and having their game against South Africa washed out. So even if today's match is rained out, the Australians will progress while Afghanistan will have to rely on net run rate on other results. Now, Delhi Capitals announced former England captain Kevin Pietersen as the mentor for Indian Premier League 2025. The franchisee made the announcement on social media, confirming the return of one of their most sought-after former players. Kevin Pietersen will work closely with head coach Hemang Badani, who was roped in for the new season. Delhi Capitals have gone through a complete overhaul of their coaching structure after parting ways with Ricky Ponting at the end of IPL 2024 season. And one of the most talented players of his generation, the 10th world chess champion Boris Spassky, has passed away at the age of 88. Spassky held the title of world champion from 1969 to 1972 when he lost it to American Bobby Fischer in a contest later dubbed as the match of the century. Spassky showed great sportsmanship during that match in the midst of the Cold War, which he lost despite winning the first two games. He applauded Fischer after losing the sixth game. Spassky has represented France in 3 chess Olympiads in 1984, 86 and 88 and was seen playing in the Jardin du Luxembourg in Paris during the 1990s. Spassky had been the oldest living world chess champion. And Thailand Greek sport defeated top seed Daniil Medvedev to reach the semi-finals at the Dubai Championships on Thursday. Greek sport had survived a first-round encounter with Roman Safiolin by saving 3 match points. He then eliminated defending champion Ugo Humbert on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Stefanos Tsitsipas advanced to the semi-finals following a tight win over Italian Matteo Berrettini. Fourth seed Tsitsipas took the opener in a tie-break before overcoming a second-set blip en route to a 7-6, 1-6, 6-4 victory. Tsitsipas will next meet Thailand Greek sport. Shifting focus to football now, Bundesliga leaders Bayern Munich will face Stuttgart on Friday ahead of the Champions League last 16 first leg tie against Bayer Leverkusen. Bayern have won 8 of their last 9 league games and have 58 points, which is 8 more than second place Leverkusen. The game in Stuttgart is crucial for Bayern to maintain their position in the standings. In a major setback, Bayern will be without defensive midfielder Joshua Kimmich, who has not yet recovered from a thigh injury. March and Brazil will be singing and dancing for 15 days during the carnival, mostly at street parties known as blocos. The Indian community of Sao Paulo will be hosting their own street party called Bloco Bollywood, where they play Indian music, bhangra drums and play garba, with thousands of Brazilians joining the celebrations of Indian culture. DD India's Shobhan Saxena has filed this report on how the Indian community, Brazilian dancers and drum players are preparing for the Indian carnival.
The creators of the Indian Carnival have been organizing dance workshops at various locations, including Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center of the Indian Consulate in São Paulo. This year, Bloco Bollywood celebrate the Festival of Colors, Holi, as its theme.
This year, Bloco Bollywood theme is Holi, and today in my workshop, I did Holi songs for Brazilian students. Bloco Bollywood is a really nice thing in Brazilian Carnival because Indians and Brazilians can enjoy together Indian culture, and I'm very happy to be part of it and bring Indian culture to more people. My father is Indian, my mom is Brazilian, so dance Indian music is very important for me, then I can connect more with Indian culture.
Created in 2016, Bloco Bollywood has become the biggest Indian cultural show in South America. The free and open event is a huge street party which goes on for 5 hours. It is managed by professional dancers from India and Brazil.
I'm a Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi and Mohiniyattam dance teacher. Also, I teach Bollywood. I have been to the Bloco Bollywood since 2016, since the beginning. And for me, it's a great honor to be part of this Bloco and also to teach all Brazilians how to dance, how to go inside a Bollywood movie like that. I'm teaching Balam Pichkari to all Brazilians to enjoy and to have a great fun in Bloco Bollywood.
Sao Paulo has hundreds of street parties called blocos where they play their specific music. Bloco Bollywood is the only party that plays Indian music, including bhangra and garba.
Bloco Bollywood is the largest cultural exchange that we have between Brazil and India right now. It started in 2016 trying to bring the Indian community to the most famous Brazilian party that we have, that is Carnival, and became an admissible event to also the community in Brazil and also the Indian community.
Bloco Bollywood attracts a large number of young Brazilians. There's a group of drum players from the University of São Paulo who play Brazilian drums in Indian style.
Charateria is a group of drum players and we are associated with the University of São Paulo, and we play with the Bloco Bollywood since 2017, and since then it's been a lot of fun and it's a very enriching experience to be part of this, and it's very fun to know a lot more about this culture and play different types of music than we generally hear in Brazil.
With a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, the Indian community of Sao Paulo and Brazilian artists are preparing very hard for the biggest Indian show in entire South America, called Bloco Bollywood. The Street Carnival of Indian Community will happen on 1st of March. This is Shobhan Saxena for DD India in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Well, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.